TripleG. Brace yourself for the things you'll see. From comic books to toys and more. And all cartoons that we adore. Pop culture, flicks and geeky stuff. We love it all and can't get enough. So settle in and enjoy the show. Please hit like and subscribe before you go.
How's it hanging, YouTube? It's Peter here, your ginger Geordie geek, and we are back for another year in Geek. As ever, I'm joined by some of my good pals on YouTube. We've got James T of the Keegan. How are you, James?
Ew, I am very well. How are you?
Not bad at all, mate. Not bad at all. Looking forward to talking 1988. It's going to be a good one. Efren, how are you, sir?
The year was 1988. Passport Comics was still in his 20s. I was 29 years old, just about to hit that 30. Peter was a teenager, if I got corrected. James wasn't even born.
Yeah.
So
I'm 7 years out at this stage still. I am yet to. We're yet to do a year that I physically remember. So that will be nice for the next one.
James's birth, we call that the golden years, don't we?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It was all downhill from there, really.
It all went to shit after that. Do you know what I mean? No, do you know what? I can't remember who suggested this. Yeah, I think it might have been our friend Wayne Deacon. And when I started doing a little bit of I do research, guys. I do research for this show, as does Efren. Efren always sends us a list of things, so it's nice that me and Efren are working hard. But when I started doing some research for this, flicking through the toy catalogue, I realised this was probably my golden year. Do you know that year when you're a kid and your best memories of toys and things are? And you'll see what I mean when we flick through the Argos catalogue.
But you wouldn't have been a kid, though. You'd be like in your 20s at this point.
No, fuck you. I was 11. I was 11 years old.
Right, okay.
So, so wait until you see the toy stuff. It's just amazing. Anyway, before we start, guys, let's jump to the chat because we've got loads of people here, which is fantastic. We've got Terry. Nice to see you, Terry. Good evening, good people. Terry, that image you've got of Wonder Woman there, I used that on Instagram today because I've managed to snag myself, I think, an absolute steal of something of a Grail Wonder Woman issue. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet because I want to show it on the show if it arrives. Nice. I'm getting this book, I reckon, for about maybe $500 to $800 cheaper than it should have gone for. So I'm very nervous that the guy's not actually, it's coming from Canada, very nervous the guy's not going to actually send it. But we'll see. Was
it a bid and just nobody else bid on it? Was it? Yeah.
He was messaging us beforehand saying, I think, just to secure this, you should probably put in a few bids to make sure. It's like, no, just bid.
And then he would have bid it himself to up the thing, surely. Yeah.
So we'll see. Efren, were you raising your hand like a good boy there?
Yes. Speaking of Grails, I have one of my Grails coming in. I have 3 left. One's coming in. Peter, by me mentioning you, I think you know which one it is.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say which one it is, but it should be coming in this week.
Looking forward to seeing that, Efren. Looking forward to seeing that. If it's what I think it is, it'll be a stonker, I'm sure. We've got Bat Dan. Nice to see you, Dan. I hope you are well. We've got Chris Bonjour. Nice to see you. And we've got Fuzzy of the Dunlop. How are we diddling? We're diddling well, mate. We are diddling well. We've got Andy, Perpetual Comics. Always nice to see you, Andy. We've got Wayne. Hello, you funny looking at people. Yeah, we certainly are. We've got Grey Man. Nice to see you, Grey Man. Hope you're doing well. Please do check out Cover Slingers, 7 o'clock every Saturday at night over on the Grey Man's channel. Does he normally keep his members waiting, for fuck's sake? I do. I said, Leon, nice to see you, Leon. Hope you're doing well, bud. I say the usual suspects are all in attendance. Evening, everyone. Bat Dan, looking forward to this one. 88 was one of my favourites. Yeah. Best show this. Thank you, Fuzzy. I do appreciate that. We have got Phil. Nice to sit. That's a stonking little picture.
Just about to say,
Phil. Isn't it? He scrubs up well, doesn't he? He's looking good. Clean
shaven.
Yeah. Peter and I were 10, I believe. Well, I was born 77, Chris. So yeah. BJ before. I see what you did there. Gray. Yeah. You might get a train again.
You might get sent a train instead of your comic like you did with the.
I see what you mean. Yeah, I've got you. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, bastards. Anyway. And we've got Luke from Journey into Thunder. Nice to see you, Luke. Luke has just unboxed on Instagram. Haven't seen your YouTube video yet, Luke, but he's just unboxed a massive Jurassic Park T-Rex set, which looked
nice.
Lego set, which looked insane. So yeah, very, very cool. Very cool. Phil's just confirmed he took about 100 photos before he got that image right. And we've got Brian. Nice to see you, Brian. I hope you are well, my friend. 88 was a cracking year. So that's a good point for to jump in. We are talking 1988. Greyman was 19 in 1988. He's just saying here, wowzers. I can't be the only one who's just right-clicked and saved Phil's photo. Yeah. So 1988. If you've not seen this show before, ladies and gents, what we'll do is we'll look at all the best stuff of 88. We'll talk movies, comic books, video games, television, toys, and a little bit of food at the end there. So all the good stuff from 88. We're going to start off with a bit of movie news. Gentlemen, do you know what the highest grossing film of 1988 was?
No.
Stop Googling, James.
I'm not Googling anything. I'm not.
I
don't know. I didn't have all the movies on there. Was there a Star Wars movie? No.
No, 86 was.
I'll put you out your misery because this is a one that I'm going to admit I've never actually seen. But it was, of course, Rain Man.
Oh, wow.
With good old Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise. Fuzzy straight there.
A million guesses and I would never have done that.
Have you seen it? This feels to me like one of those classic films that I've just never watched.
I think we watched it in school. I think we had to watch it for some kind of assignment on like autism or something like that, I think.
Yeah, lots of people in the chat are saying Rain Man classic. Wayne's just confirmed he was 31 in 88. Yeah. So yeah, I don't. Wow. Luke off. Our resident Rain Man. He is of similar disposition. Yeah. So yeah, Rain Man, Dustin Hoffman, Tom Cruise, all about two brothers who find each other when the father dies. I think they're estranged at that point. Dustin Hoffman playing an autistic gentleman. Budget of 25 million, made 355 million at the box office. Huge movie.
You would never get that now. Like a drama like that kind of movie to be the biggest of the year. Like, it just doesn't happen. It's always a superhero or a Disney or something like that, you know?
Yeah, not a bit of CGI in it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it wouldn't have.
Except for Tom Cruise's height, I'd imagine they probably.
Well, I would imagine he'll have heels or something on.
I don't think Dustin Hoffman's that tall either. So
yeah, he's a short guy, isn't he? Nice to see you, SM. Thank you very much. Hope you feel better soon. We've got Anton. Originally, Steven Spielberg was offered that movie. Really, didn't know that. Interesting. So that's Rain Man. But let's move on to a bit of geeky kind of film news, and this year I hadn't realised was one of the best years for some very impressive movies. And we've got, of course, Beetlejuice, just stonking. Now, Beetlejuice 2, or Beetlejuice has recently been out. I know I wasn't overly keen on this, but we had the Tim Burton, Michael Keaton first outing in 88, based on a book from, I think it was 82 from memory. 15 million budget, made 85 million. Had some sequels, comics. Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I never realised it was based on a book.
Yeah. Just a cracking film. So, James, I know you've seen this. What do you think of this?
Yeah, it's a great. You know, I said, you know, when we were talking about the second movie, kind of around that period, like I've never been like super attached to it. I watched it as a young-ish. Probably 10 or something. And I dug it, but I was never like, I know a lot of people like just like this is one of their favorite films as a kid, and it just never really connected with me like that. So we were supposed to go back and watch it on the channel, and we wound up never actually doing it. So like I would like to go back and have a re-look at it, you know, because I never even got to watch it again before the new one came out, and the new one was like fine, you know. So it'd be nice to go back to this. It's like, oh yeah, this is where it's at.
The new one was okay. Didn't blow me away. What did you think, Efren, of this? You've seen Beetlejuice.
I loved it when it first came out back in 88. I can't believe it only made like 85 million, you said? That's not a lot, you know?
Yeah, 85 million.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it when it first came out. It was a fresh movie, you know, as much as I like sequels, you know, and prequels, whatever, something brand new. I really enjoy this film. It's a classic now. Obviously, a lot of people love this film. So well done.
What a couple of years for Keaton, because he had this in '88 and then '89. Obviously, we get Batman.
Wow.
So two cracking roles, really. And Dan is just saying here, Young Guns 2 was in it. Yeah. Young Guns best film. So was Young Guns, remind us in the chat, guys, I'm not sure, is Young Guns 88 or was it Young Guns 2 88? I know I've seen Young Guns. I can't remember Young Guns 2, to be honest.
I think I've only seen Young Guns 2. I don't think I've seen the first one.
Michael Keaton was a stand-up comedian too. I seen him in San Francisco a year before Beetlejuice. I seen him in stand-up.
You did said that before. Yeah,
because
crazy.
there was hell on, wasn't there, when he was kind of cast as Batman, because people were saying he's a comedian, he's never going to do it. Brian, Die Hard in '88. Yeah, we're going to touch on that in a little bit, mate. Just love Die Hard, but yeah. Okay, gonna jump over onto what's regarded as, in some circles, one of the greatest animated films of all time, released in '88. Any idea what it might be?
Toy Story?
Land Before Time?
Akira.
What?
I see this.
Do you know what? I love so much stuff that takes influence from it, but I've never actually watched it itself. And I think about a couple months ago, I went looking on Netflix to see if it was on anything, and it wasn't on any streaming stuff. I do want to watch this at some point. Like if it ever has like a cinema re-release, I think it comes around every now and then.
It's re-released and kind of souped up all the time. Now, I'm going to apologise. I've said that, I'd say into the show already, and I'm talking shite. I've said that Beetlejuice was based on a book in '82. It's not. It's Akira that's based on the manga, which came out in '82.
Yes,
so I'm
okay,
mixing them up. This is a one that I will have watched, and I know I've watched back in the day, but I cannot remember much about it. Do you know what I mean? I remember he gets telekinesis or something. And it's very manga-esque, lots of explosions and stuff.
Like everybody knows that iconic shot of him on the bike sliding on the ground. Like everything from like Sonic to like various superhero things have done that shot. Batman did it. It's so iconic.
And I mean that bike is iconic, like you said. I think most comic and anime cartoon type people know. No, this fake news. Absolutely. Know that this is, you see that bike and you know what it's from, whether you've seen the movie or not, I guess. But great movie. Apparently, I'd like to go back and rewatch this at some point. I think you're right, James. I think it gets redone. I'm getting loads of grief. It gets redone and remastered all the time. I do apologise. I'm getting grief. But gentlemen, did you know that this was scheduled for a live-action movie at some point?
Every anime movie is at some point. Like, they got around to Ghost in the Shell, they got around to, Dragon Ball and stuff. Yeah. But, like, this one's never
So 2017, there was a director attached, and it was all going gung-ho, and it was gonna get pushed out. It was supposed to be being released this year, or last year, I think it was. But then the director got distracted by Marvel throwing money at them, and he decided to go and do something else instead. Any idea which director that is?
Is it Taika Waititi? Yeah.
So interesting. I mean, and the reason I've done that and made you guess is because I can't say that name. So
Taika
Waititi, Ton. So yeah, interesting. I would like to see a live action. I don't know if I'd like to see him do it. I'm out of sorts with him at the moment. But
he's got well, I suppose I was about to say he has a visual style, but that visual style in Love and Thunder was pretty floating heads and all that,
Just gonna jump to the chat. Grey Man, to this day I maintain Keaton was rubbish as How dare you, sir?
Woof.
How dare you?
That's a hot take.
That's fighting talk. That is fighting talk. Never got round to watching Akira either. Yeah, I will have watched it, Grey Man. Do you remember back in the day, in the good old UK, where you got these kind of anime things and stuff on late night, Friday nights on Channel 4 at like 1 o'clock in the morning and that kind of stuff? I'm sure I watched it like on one of those kind of occasions. But I've never bought it on DVD or anything. I've never seen it at the cinema. So it is a one I think I've seen in pieces. I'd like to go back and check it out. Yeah. Luke saying, it's fantastic. Try and watch it every few years to remind myself of how good it is. Well, that's good praise. We'll have to check that out.
Another one, just on a side note, another anime thing I want to watch is Cowboy Bebop. I've heard
I've never watched that either.
One season, and like it seems pretty easy to get through. Like I might.
It's a live action, isn't it? Cowboy Bebop?
They did one a couple of years ago, and apparently Netflix did it, and it was crap. Apparently, Yeah, so I watched that.
We've got Dan here. Nice to see you, Dan. Hope you're well. Notice the poster this scene is not even in the movie. Yeah, that is very true. I remember that. Fake news. Yeah. Agree, Luke. In comparison, I found the books a bit hard work. Never read the books. 85 million in 88 would be 234 million today. Yeah. Super hot, absolute Batman variant covers at the moment. Homage in this, absolutely, Dan. I didn't get a chance to get a copy, but they were phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I think was there a black and white version and a color version.
And New York Comic Con, they had that one. A buddy of mine got it for me. So
shit, comedy Akira wouldn't work if Taki did it. Yeah, I'm sure there'd be a laugh track in there. It would be fun. I had a bunch of manga vids. Cannot say that.
Me neither.
How are James?
Euro.
Sokodoji.
Euro.
You just said that with confidence. You could have seen anything, couldn't you?
Yeah, but
Efren can't get his teeth around it.
Just sound out.
Go on, Efren.
So good. Doji.
I'm loving the concentration on Efren's face. He's trying to work it out in his head.
You rot so cod ajai.
You rot Tokodoji.
Yeah, I'm with you, Efren. Yeah. I love me a good Akira homage. Yeah, there's some lovely ones out there, Phil. Some lovely ones out there. Right, guys. Right. Now, like I say, I'm enjoying doing this show because it makes us go back and when I'm doing the research, as it were, for the show, it makes us just remember films that just filled us with joy. And the next one for me is just my childhood. Any idea what it might be? I'll give you a clue. It combines live action with animation.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah. Love that film. Loved. I mean, this for me was groundbreaking at the time because I was like, let's say, around 11 or 12 or something, and it mixed what I loved, which was silliness, comics, cartoons, stupidity, with live action and what felt like a proper adult. I mean, it's pretty horrific at times when he's kind of melting things.
Oh, scarred me as a kid. Yeah,
but also. Dirty sexiness, because I mean I have to say Jessica Rabbit did all kinds of things for my young body. It was So Efren, we'll start with you. Your memories of this movie, mate.
I love this movie when it came out. I was like, oh my god, this is such a great movie. I love that they got the rights to use characters from Disney and Warner Brothers, Daffy, all those guys. So this was a classic movie. I mean, it was just to me, it was ahead of its time. I've never seen anything like this. That close with animation and live action together, meshing so well together. I thought they would make a sequel to this, but I'm kind of glad they didn't. Just leave it alone.
Yeah. And I think you're right. When this is 88, so a long, long time ago. The animation, the melding.
Yeah.
Saying that, it's a while since I've seen it, so I'm hoping in my head it still stands up. Do you know what I mean? It'd be interesting to go back and watch it. But in my mind, the animation blend with live action was perfect. It was really good. What about you, James? You a fan of this?
Yeah, I love it. It's I'm a big film noir fan. Had that kind of vibes to it. The murder mystery thing, which I thought was great. It is just mind melding how they were able to achieve this at the time. Physically, I don't know how they could. And it's crazy. Not many things have tried that since. You have Space Jam, but you compare it. Now I have not watched it in a long time either. But for fuck's sake, I've just lost my train. You just knocked me off my train of thought. Now I don't even know what I was saying. What was I saying?
You see how good it was. Talk to us about the villain, but because that's obviously Doc Brown, isn't it?
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd. Phenomenal performance. I think that the plot twist that he's a toon at the end is just so good, and I like the mystery that you don't really fully see what kind of toon he is. It's just it's so good. Just so he's terrifying in that movie. When that shot scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Oh yeah. I mean, for me, it was like I say. You went in expecting a cartoon, but then there's the scene where he's literally dipping cartoon characters into the vat of whatever it is, and the screaming and dissolve. It's just horrific.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just love it. Terry's a few comments in the chat here. I just want to jump onto, guys. Poor Bob Hoskins was never the same after making this film. What do you mean by that, Terry? I'm not sure what you. Loved Bob Hoskins, mate. Loved Bob Hoskins. Someone else was saying in the chat that where was it? See if you guys can see the message. Somebody was saying Eddie Murphy there. Eddie Murphy was down to play the Bob Hoskins character. That's interesting.
That could have worked.
No, I don't think it would.
I think that would have worked as well.
No, because for me, Bob Hoskins is so successful in this role because he's the straight man. He's straight-laced. He's not, Eddie Murphy's a comedian, and he would be making jokes and quips and stuff.
fair.
I can't see him playing the straight character, I'd like to go back and watch this one, James. And you, from this is the one that I think would like to go back and see. Gave us the caramel. They were filth. I don't know, you'll have never seen those, Ephraim, but Cadbury's Caramel, for a long time after this film, had an animated rabbit eating caramel to sell chocolate bars. It was the most seductive sexual thing I've ever seen. Do you remember it, James? Or you not seen it?
No, I don't know. That's the first time
When
I
we're,
heard this.
when we're finished, go on YouTube and just type in caramel rabbit. It's honestly, it was like porn before the internet. Do you know what I mean? It was,
All right.
Was it a commercial?
yeah, just on daytime television.
For what brand of caramel?
Cadbury's Caramel.
Cadbury's Caramel.
Cadbury's Caramel.
Like
Yeah,
the
she
chocolate
kind of
bar with caramel in it.
Just incredibly sexy rabbit.
Oh, she's
Sounds
dripping it
raunchy.
on herself and stuff.
No, she's just kind of peels it and then kind of slowly puts it in her mouth. And it's
Jessica
just
Rabbit or a rabbit, an animated rabbit?
an animated rabbit.
Okay.
An animated rabbit.
Nice. I'll look
I
it up.
feel dirty. Just feel dirty thinking about it. That's right, Anton. Based on a book called Who Censored Roger Rabbit from a couple of years earlier. It was supposed to have sent him around the bend. Really? I want the working without something to act off, Terry. If you know what I mean.
I think this, like, the difficulty of making this, which is understandable for an actor like him, it's technology he doesn't necessarily understand. Combined, as Fuzzy said, with Super Mario Brothers, just broke him completely as an actor. Like, I think Super Mario Bros. Was a horrendous experience for him. And he almost basically quit acting after it.
Wow.
Chris is confirming that you'll never look at a rabbit in the same way again, and he's just googled it. Wow, is that?
I'm gonna have a look now.
It's a hot
Me
rabbit.
too.
It's a sexy rabbit.
look
So
good.
that's iFrame Roger Rabbit from 1988. But we had a load more really interesting movies come out in '88 as well.
I do remember this. Oh, that was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah. Did you know who I didn't know it was Miriam. She's an interesting lady. She eats raw onions like apples. She's a strange lady here. Sexiest rabbit since the rampant one. Evening peeps, nice to see you, Sean. Hope you're well. We're just talking Roger Rabbit. He did the BT ads too, didn't he? And I know him from 2 films in the ads. Yeah. Okay, guys, lots of other films. Just to quickly mention, we have obviously, the iconic classic Die Hard. Just an amazing movie. Absolutely amazing movie. We had Child's Play. First of those came out. We had the amazing Twins. We had Big. And we had The Naked Gun. So, James, come to you first. Tell us about one of those films and why it means something to you. And then we'll do the same with you, Ephraim.
Yeah, I mean, Child's Play. Like, Chucky is one of the all-time greats, and the kind of debut of that. Absolutely love that one. I think it's incredible. When I saw it when I was really young, and just, like, I always loved it. I like how it's not, like, super gory. But, like, as a kid, it hits you, I think, because it's a doll. It's like your toy is trying to kill you kind of thing. I thought that was great. So I love that one.
Yeah, it's a great movie. How about you, Ephraim?
Die Hard. Oh God, I love that movie when it first came out with Bruce Willis and the Takahashi, I believe, building is in L.A. and he was a New York cop, out of his realm, with having to go visit his wife, and then terrorists take over, and the head terrorist was from Harry Potter. Drawing a blank on the actor's name.
It's oh God,
passed away. He played the teacher. Anyways, but it was a great film, man.
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman. Yeah, it was a great film, and just yippee ki yay, all that. Go USA.
There's a brilliant. I've never managed to get a copy of it yet, but there's a great kind of advent calendar you can get, which is the building, the tower you just mentioned, and it's Alan Rickman's character Fallen. And as it gets nearer Christmas, you're basically moving down each day.
Oh, that's funny.
I love it. Absolutely love
that.
it.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it's just an amazing actor. For me, all of these films are classic. Big has a big part of my childhood. I remember loving that movie. Twins as well. But for me, any Naked Gun movie, or any Leslie Nielsen movie really, is just my kind of stupid, childish humour. I just love everything about them. Obviously, Naked Gun follow on from the Police Squad TV series. Leslie Nielsen, who was a very serious actor originally, did a lot of sci-fi stuff, and then just went into comedy and was just hilarious, absolutely hilarious.
Did he do Airplane before or after this?
I think. Oh, I'm not sure of the dates on. I'm not sure, but Airplane again, a classic.
Yeah.
That kind of comedy was just my kind of go-to stuff. You know, loved it. But yeah,
Airplane
loved
was 1980.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great movies. Let's have a look at the chat. Grey Man. I still haven't bothered to see Child's Play. It's worth a watch, mate. It is worth a watch.
Great.
I got thrown excuse me, out of an F.R. Schwartz for doing belly slide. Naked Gun film that still makes you laugh on its 40th view. And I always find something funny in the Naked Gun movies to watch. I just love them. One of my favourite things to have found out about Leslie Nielsen after he passed away, sadly, is, I think I've told you this before, guys, but every single interview, everywhere he went, he carried a fart machine with him, a pump machine. So every interview he did, he would just press it at random points and just go, excuse me, and stuff like that. And the reaction of the people interviewing him was just superb. Loved
So
it.
immature. I love
It's super, but it's great. But if you YouTube him, there's a great kind of compilation of all these interviews he's doing with big interview where he's just letting them all off. It's just great. Let's see. Nice beaver. Yeah, thanks. Just had it stuffed. That's just great. Need to rewatch Police Squad and the Naked Gun films. Yeah, the stand-up. Apparently, what you call them?
I know they're making a reboot of it.
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, Liam Neeson. Yeah. Liam Neeson's going to do it. Yeah. Never appealed to Grey. It's a funny kind of humour, Grey, isn't it? I think it's not for everybody. I know my missus doesn't get this kind of humour at all. It's just not her cup of tea. But for me, I just love it. Absolutely love it. Airplane, 70s, 80s, yeah. Die Hard has the ominous towers that look like the Twin Towers in New York. Yeah, it does. Loved all these movies as a kid. Were spoiled in the 80s. Absolutely agree. Naked Gun is second only to Airplane. Another Leslie Nielsen movie. Genius. Yeah, I love that. I don't listen to your guys' movies' opinions. You all rate Batman 89. Oh, Grey. Higher than Grey. Answer is in the chat. Everybody in the chat. We've asked this question before, but I'm going to ask it again. Who is the best Batman? I guarantee Gray's going to say Adam West. But who's the best Batman? Wait, Liam Neeson is going to be Frank Drebin. Yeah. Let it rip on his tombstone. Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, that is classic. I love that. OJ did. Yeah, OJ Simpson features in these movies, James, in case you've never seen them.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
Of his time as an actor before being renowned for murdering two people.
This fighting talk here, mate. Phil, Batman 89 sucks balls. Ben Affleck. Lego Batman. I'll give you that. That Lego Batman is a very good Batman. Bruce Wayne. See what he did there. Adam West is the best Batman. Keaton. I'm with Batman. Keaton for me. OJ wasn't great at car racing. Wow. Gentlemen, we've said it before, but just quickly. Efren, best Batman?
Michael Keaton for sure.
Good man. Yep. James?
I think Pattinson could take it after another movie. I need another movie to decide that. But for now, Ben Affleck, I think. I love his version. I think the warehouse fight scene is the best Batman sequence in any film.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's the best sequence, but that doesn't. I don't think that makes him the best Batman, because it could have been any of those people in that suit. I think his physique is amazing.
No, I think fighting style comes into it. Like Bale wouldn't do that kind of fight sequence. You know, his Batman didn't fight like that.
Yeah.
Fucking Bale or Keaton certainly didn't.
Keaton couldn't move.
One kick out.
Keaton couldn't move his entire top off of his body. Anyway, guys. Let's talk toys. So this year, like I said, blew me away. Now, first thing I want to say is the most popular toy of the year, or the most popular thing for parents to buy kids at Christmas, didn't actually come out this year. It came out a few years earlier, but it took a little while to filter through. Any idea what that might be?
Is it like based on a property or something? Toy
It is the good old Nintendo. So it came out a couple of years earlier, but it went nuts in 88. So this is when it just started kind of flying off the shelves. Not going to talk about it much here because we're going to cover some game stuff later on. But I never had one of these. I had a Master System. I was a Sega guy more than this. But do you guys ever have a SNES?
Yes, I did.
I got the mini one, like that came out, like a retro one, that had 20 games pre-installed a few years ago, and I played it for about 90 minutes total. Like I basically did 5 minutes every game, and I was like, yeah, these are, it's too.
I remember having my mates having the Christian Bale. Yeah, they keep threatening to make twins too. Yeah, I've heard that. I think both of them are up for it. To be honest,
weren't they going to get like Eddie Murphy or someone to be the third brother or something?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Or something like that, I think, yeah.
Excuse me. So, I was just going to say, my mate got the TMNT pack, same as you, Chris. I remember going around to his house and it driving me friggin' insane because I think we've talked about it before, James, but it was back when you didn't really have save points a lot. And it was one of the
needed
hardest
passwords and stuff like that, or like just play through the game in one go. Like,
God, there's an underwater part of the Turtles game where you've got to kind of navigate and float around.
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous.
Funny you say that. The like about I think 12 classic Turtles games are like in this package called the Cowabunga Collection. I think the NES one is in there as well, and it's at the PS Plus game this month, so I have that now. Right. So I might have a go through. Yeah. I feel like I'm just gonna like 10 minutes in each and kind of move on.
Yeah,
but I've heard this is a very notorious water level.
The water level is horrific, awful game, so painful. Yeah, but good fun side scroll and action. Yeah. Anyway, toys. This was the year were big first kind of releases of turtle figures. So the original lineup, they flew off the shelves. They were absolutely insane. I remember my local shops, the only ones we could get a hold of were the Foot Soldiers, so I had to pick up a Donatello, my favourite turtle, later on. But just flicking through the Argos catalogue here, guys, like I say, this just jumped out to me as the year where I just went nuts with toys and loved action figures and stuff. So first of all, we'll have Mask. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Mask.
I heard of it.
Mask.
Yeah.
Oh, just amazing. Again, great cartoon, great comic book. Basically little small action figures, and each of them had a vehicle, and the vehicle transformed into a different kind of vehicle, a different style vehicle, I guess you'd say. Re-releasing some of these figures, we talked about them on the toy show a little while ago, so they're going to get a re-release. Just amazing figures. Andy's saying in the thing here that he had that backpack. Yeah, great, just a brilliant series, so I'm looking forward to seeing some of this come back. So I had Mask figures. We then had G.I. Joe. I know you guys aren't massive G.I. Joe fans, but again, looking at these, I remember getting a load of these particular action figures. I recognise them straight away as having them. Never got into the vehicles as much with G.I. Joe, but certainly the action figures I did. But what jumped out at us at the other side there is Visionaries. Are you familiar with Visionaries?
Just from you mentioning it a few times on different shows.
Never heard of it.
Again, it's another one that didn't do too well as a cartoon. I've got a video coming out about it soon. But the action figures were great. Back then, the hologram stickers were kind of the big thing, and they each could access different powers via the staffs on the chests and things like that. So yeah, just great toys to play with. Andy's saying, tickling all the memories. Next few pages as well, mate. Wait for it. Well, Micro Machines were huge in '88. Yep, I had a few Micro Machines as well. After the brilliance of Action Man, these later toys were unfit to lick the blue pants. Yeah. Visionaries, the holograms. Yep. On the chest and on the staffs. And then we'll get into some of the big boys. We've got Thundercats there. Amazing figures. We've got Transformers, Galvatron at the bottom there. I had him. We've got Pretenders, which are Transformers. I don't know if you've seen those, where it's basically a big hard plastic shell and the Transformers inside it. Wasn't secure in them. Karate Kid, I don't remember. But then I remember the film obviously, but I don't remember the games, the toys. But then we've got Centurions at the top there, which is again another favourite of mine. Power Extreme, just superb action figures. I don't remember the Star Force or Starcom that much at the bottom, but I think someone remind us in the chat, were the Starcom ones the ones where they were tiny little figures and they had magnetic boots? so they could kind of, well, they were magnetised. I think that's what they were. Any of those jump out at you guys that you remember having or playing with or anything? I mean, probably your ages aren't right for this.
I was 29 years old, man. I'm just wondering, does anybody in the chat know if these toys, how much they're worth now? This came out in 1988.
I can tell you a lot of them.
Okay.
Because I've gone back and rebought a lot of them.
Okay.
Thundercats range, but if you're looking for an out of package Thundercat, say a Lino there, you can get a complete one for 30-40 quid. Mint in box, you're talking hundreds. Some of the rarer figures like your Jaga or your Bengal go for about £1,000 if you can get them in pack. Centurions, if you can get them with all of the accessories. The problem with Centurions is they had like 10, 11 different pieces because it clips into the figure. So they're a bit harder to come by, but you can normally get a decent quality one for around about £100. And then the Transformers all just range completely.
Nice.
But yeah, some great figures. Andy's saying, oh my God, yeah. Ring Raiders, micro machines for your fingers. I remember those as well. They were very, very cool. Was the AT-AT released in the 80s for Star Wars? Yeah, that was a couple of years earlier, I think, Sean, but great figure. Anton, have all the G.I. Joes, still have them. I've got Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes still. Nice figures. Comic Co Show, what was your era's toys? Was it a hoop and a stick or a bomb sight shrapnel? yeah. Johnny Seven Gun and Bricks from Bob Sites used to play catch. Yeah. The day I opened the Centurion from Peter, I cried like a... Get away. So yeah, nice figures. And then James, Ghostbusters. This is when we had the real Ghostbuster first lineup. I had all the action figures. I didn't have the vehicles or the play sets. But just, again, great figures. These are ones I've gone back and picked up the original 4 Ghostbusters, but I'm tempted by some of those monsters and Slimer and all that kind of stuff. Would either of you guys ever... Have you... Efren, I know you're a bit older than us. Are there any vintage toy lines or toys from your youth that you've ever thought, you know what, I'd like to go back and pick one of those up just because I had it?
Sure. I mean, I was... Let me see, 59, 69. Okay, I was trying to remember. I was a teenager, and I so regret when Star Wars first came out. I wish I would have bought all those toys. That's like, dang it. Just like I wish I would have bought all these comic books when I was a kid growing up, like in the 70s. You know, I used to go to Comic Cons. They're cheap compared to what they cost now. I mean, I love Star Wars, but I just never put 2 and 2 together to, hey, buy these.
Yeah.
You know, I just never did. I was a teenager when Star Wars came out, you know, maybe a little bit older to buy toys, but just to keep them.
Yeah.
You know, how much they're worth now, you know, but I just never thought about it. You know, I was like, dang it, you know.
Go for good money now, some of the original Star Wars figures. How about you, James?
No, for me, like the nostalgia buys are usually video games. So I'll go back and like Spyro was a game I had as a kid that I loved. So like I went back and bought like a complete boxed, you know, edition of that.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So like actual figures, I don't think so. I'm trying to think now. I had like, I mean, there's a few figures where if I was in a Comic Con and I saw one for $5, like the Raimi Spider-Man figures or like the Ben Affleck Daredevil Marvel Legend or something like that, I'd probably pick it up like just for shits and giggles, but like
Just to smash it.
Yeah.
That little tub of ooze sealed is worth loads. Yeah. So there was a real run back in the day. So they did it with the Ghostbusters, but they did it with Masters of the Universe figures as well, and Turtle figures, where you could buy buckets of slime for play sets. And this stuff was friggin' awful. But you don't really see that much anymore now. Tubs of slime for kids to play with. It's probably highly corrosive or something. Probably dissolves your lungs.
You know, are you down with the kids these days, Pete? Do you be watching
I am down
Nickelodeon
with
and
the
seeing
kids.
what they're advertising, you know?
Yeah. No, I'm not aware of Nickelodeon. Captain Power, not one I ever got into, but I know it was linked to a TV series, but it's not a one that I particularly gravitated towards. That's the toys, guys. That's the toys. Slime is everywhere again, Pete. Oh, okay. I'll have to go and check it out. Get myself a tub of slime to play with. I can send you a tub of my goo, Andy. lovely fuzzy. Never had to Ghostbusters, but watch the cartoon all the time. Cartoon, the original was Terrorhawks. Terrorhawks was horrendous. Was that Jerry Anderson thing? It had puppets. I don't know if it was by Jerry Anderson or not, but yeah, great series. Comic books, guys. some good stuff happened in terms of comic books. We'll start off with a couple of classics. Ephraim, you must remember this. This is the iconic death in the family where Joker basically beats Robin to death. There was a dial-in for it.
Yeah,
So
I remember that.
were allowed to dial in and say whether he lived or died, and the great public chose to kill him off.
Did you, Ephraim?
No, I didn't. That I remember, but I remember this happening, and I heard, he just barely the Collins just barely won that he should die. It was close. I heard
The story that went around for a while was that it was one guy who had set up a phone to repeatedly call, so it's like there's potential that the vote was actually skewed. That was one person who kind of robocalled the place over and over again to vote to kill him, and that's why it went through.
Wow, can't believe this was 1988. Dang, man.
Pretty horrific story, really, because I mean they don't shy away from Joker literally beating them to death. It was quite a shocking story. I remember watching. There's a good series on Amazon, I think it is, of Mark Hamill's. I can't remember what it's called, Pop Culture or something. And he goes to the DC archives and he's talking to Jim Lee, and Jim Lee shows him the original artwork for both pages that were prepared to just in case the vote went either way.
Yeah.
So you see the kind of the page of Batman holding Robin and saying, "Oh, he's alive," kind of thing, and then obviously the one where he's just holding the dead body. But a shocking storyline back in the day, really shocking.
Yeah.
Have you gone back and reread this, James? This is the one you're familiar with?
Yeah, right. I was a big fan of the Under the Red Hood animated film. So at that time, I went back and read it. And I thought it was great.
Great series, great little book. And then we've got a couple of first appearances for you. So we've got Amazing Spider-Man annual. We've got the first ever appearance of Speedball. That's the one, Phil. Thank you. Pop Culture Quest with a weird anime stuffed dog thing for some reason, which was a bit random. But yeah, it's a good show. Speedball, interesting character. You guys familiar with him?
I've actually never I've heard of him, but this is the first time I'm seeing a costume and stuff. So
interesting character. So he's a bit of a goofball character. He basically bounces around and bounces off things and stuff. And those little bubble things are always floating around him. His cat has got the same powers. There you go. But in later years, he was one of the New Warriors, and he was responsible for the deaths that happened at Civil War, the start of Civil War, so the school that blows up.
yeah.
And then his character gets very dark. Do you remember much about the character that comes after Ephraim?
Yes, I forgot the name of the character's name.
Penance.
Yeah, he basically built himself like an outfit and with spikes inside. And every time he used his powers, it would basically, he would be hurt by the use of his powers. But that was his penance for killing all those kids and, to start Civil War. I'm not sure what happened to him after that. I think he got out of that,
He did. He's back as Speedball now. But it was a very
dark,
very stark story for Marvel to do. So basically, James, this guy's powers are activated by physical contact. So to start his powers, he's got to be knocked or banged or something like that. So he builds himself a suit to atone for his sins, where his suit's inside is laced with razor blades and spikes and things. So he self-harms, basically, to activate his powers. Yeah. It's just, now when you think about it, it's a little bit on the edge, It's a bit of an interesting one. Yeah. But I think these days he's back to a more jovial character, I think. I love him. I'm a massive fan of New Warriors, which is the team he joins with Night Thrasher and Marvel Boy and all that kind of stuff. I'd love to see more done with them. Chris Bell, my first Speedball was some years later. Yeah. V for Vendetta. Yep, I think the UK comic came out a little bit earlier, Fuzzy, but the American DC kind of reprint came out this year, I think, from memory. Because V for Vendetta was originally published in, Grey Man will know. Grey Man Reminders, Warrior. Is it Warrior? I think in issue 1. But yeah, that's right. Kinetic Energy he's got.
Yeah.
1988 was a year I really got into US comics, mainly Batman with stories like Death in the Family and Killing Joke. Yeah, superb, yeah. His powers are really interested in terms of kinetic energy, because in the New Warriors there's a scene where Marvel Boy basically holds him in a telekinetic bubble and makes him bounce and bounce and bounce, and then opens a hole and basically shoots the bubbles out at Terax, I think it is, and the bubbles kind of like chip away at his stone and cut him and things. So he uses them as like a weapon. It was really interesting. Yep, he was a member of the New Warriors for a good while, really. So yep, that's Speedball. Then we've got this one. So who wants to talk about this iconic book? One of you. Anybody?
I will. This is my favorite graphic novel. I love this one. Killing Joke. So obviously one of the darkest Batman stories there is out there, like crippling
Barbara Gordon.
Batgirl and Barbara Gordon turning her into Oracle. It's just a horrific thing. Just the dialogue is so gripping. Like I think every monologue that he has on this is so iconic. One of my favorite endings to something as well, like the kind of the two of them laughing on the rooftop, I thought, and then like the Joker's one stops and like the kind of the theories of did he kill him or did he not? It's just so great.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about that over the years, hasn't there? And there's lots of people, and I can't remember. I'm sure Alan Moore has said no, he didn't. But it basically ends where I think it's implied that Batman silences the Joker. Stark brutality again, like you say, the shooting of Barbara Gordon, but then the abuse that Jim Gordon goes through, and it's just horrendous. Ephraim, what do you think about this one?
God, it's such a long time since I read it. I only read it once. I got to read it again now that we're talking about 1988. Just the picture of Joker right there, man. I know they won't never do this, but Batman by now should have killed off the Joker a long time ago. Yeah. All the horrific things he's done to him and his family. But yeah, classic book. I got to reread it now. I let James talk because I didn't know anything to say about it.
There's a great. So I've got the I collect the Absolute editions because I just like the print style. But it's really interesting because there's the Absolute edition. You get both stories. About what I mean by that is they reprinted it years later and they recolored it. Yeah. The original is far superior.
100%.
The recoloring's just weird. But just a great book. A one that I think if you've not read, I would encourage you to go and read.
It is also it's very short. Like it's only I think I got through on a bus journey, like if for 45 minutes or something like that. So it's a quick and easy one. Yeah, it's just great.
But you don't read the words, James. So you just look at the pictures.
I skim.
Yeah,
I'm just waiting for some boobs to show up, pretty much, and then I'll stare at that for a little bit and then move on.
Incredible story, amazing artwork. Just a classic for a reason. And then we've got this.
Oh my gosh!
Amazing Spider-Man 300 came out in '88 as well. Sorry, just before we move on, cartoon version where Bruce and Barbara have sexual relationship with a misstep. Absolutely great, man.
So just you never seen the animated movie? Ephraim, the animated version
of what?
Of the Killing Joke.
No.
So it's like Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy, and because the Killing Joke is very short, they put at the front half of it, like the back half of the book of the movie is 45 minutes of the Killing Joke, right? The front half is a weird story about Batgirl kind of like fighting this mob boss guy, and then it turns out she's banging Batman. And they have this like a sex scene in it and everything like that. Like it's very, very weird. And I think it also like puts a weird context onto the Killing Joke. So I just find it bizarre.
Just a completely strange, creative decision to go down that route. Yeah. And you sometimes think, don't you, is Alan Moore being unkind when he says he won't do anything to do with DC? And then you see something like that and you think, absolutely, mate. Yeah. What have they done to your work? It's just strange, very strange. Just before we move on, animated Killing Joke was an abomination. Absolutely was. An iconic comic book, and it kind of gave us a little peek behind the mask of who the Joker really was. Yeah, I remember getting this and giving it another. I remember getting this and giving it getting another friend, and he freaked out. Yeah, this is one of those books. When you try to get. If people say to you, recommend as a comic story, this is the one that I would. This and Watchmen is all my go-tos, really. Absolutely unnecessary. You're right, great, but made no sense. That's the thing. It made no sense to the story. Yeah. Okay, guys. So, Ephraim, come to you for this. This is Amazing Spider-Man 300, one of the most homaged covers of all time, and obviously it gave Venom. You a fan of this book? You got this one?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know how many of these books that I have, but when it first came out, I only grabbed one of them. You know, I've been buying them ever since after that, years and years. But I mean, such a great cover. It's been done, you know, homage to this cover so many times, and I wish it would stop. But I love this cover. You know, Todd McFarlane. It wasn't his first Spider-Man. I think it was 299 was his first Spider-Man, or 298. Or some, you know, but before this. But this is an iconic cover. Spider-Man with the symbiote and Venom. You know, yeah, classic cover.
I love that design of Venom as well, where he's not necessarily got the kind of the horrendous big teeth and mouth and stuff.
Yeah, it's creepier, isn't it?
Yeah,
I also like when he's physically just like a musclier Spider-Man, not like, I don't like giant monster Venom. Like, I think it's too much.
Good point.
Yeah.
Anything less interesting than an ASM 300 on much, and they've been done so much fuzzy. It's got no impact anymore.
Crazy.
Yeah, a great book to get if you get the opportunity to get it. It's one of those ones what we call a blue key book, where it's likely to never really go down in value. Or sufficiently down in value. This is always going to be desired by collectors. Hard to get in high grades because of that cover. The black and the reds are very hard to get into a decent grade. Grey Man, I'm so paid off with my local comic shop. Never gave me this book, even though I had the series on order. They did the same with Carnage too. Oof, mate, that's a stinger, because it's worth decent money, this book now as well. Another iconic cover, and that storyline between him and it's a great story. It absolutely is. Absolutely. Controversial comment. I find Spider-Man really boring.
You have to just elaborate on that. You can't just, that's a very blanket statement. It's like, what element? Spider-Man now, you know?
Hang on, Fuzzy. Shots fired here. Shots fired. I hear what you're saying, mate. I think Spider-Man's one of those characters that's been done to death in many ways. You know, we've talked about so many stories that he's done now. When he's done well, he's done amazingly well. I would recommend you read Spider-Man Life Story. That's a great 6 or 8 issue run or something. Very, very cool. Very, very cool run. Nice to see you, Von Hoot. Hope you're well, bud. Okay. Quick intermission, guys, just before we move on to television. Just want to mention a bit of a plug. My membership is still live. Got lots of people supporting the channel, so thank you so much for that. Absolutely no pressure, but have a look. And if you're interested in that kind of thing, please do jump on. Massive thank you to everybody who's currently a member. We've got Chris Bell, Canadian Survivalist, Cassio Kid, Simon, Phil, Megatheron, Wayne Deacon, Claire Prescott, Fuzzy Dunlop, Batman, Dr. Von Hoot, Dead Man. Thank you so much, guys. Like I say, you know I don't push this, but I do thank everybody that does support. It's much appreciated.
Everybody but me and James.
I've got some nice stuff coming your way soon. I've got a few comics to give you, and I've also got some cups on order. So, just before we move on, Spider-Man was a favourite as a kid, but went off him when all the Marvel in the 90s. I went full DC. Yeah, see, I kind of went the other way, Gray. I kind of went more Marvel than DC. I think it's more because Spider-Man is thrust down our throats all the time. That is true. Is the membership got the same content as your OnlyFans? Yeah, but it's censored grade. There's like little black lines on the membership. On the OnlyFans, you get to see full frontal nudity. It's great. It's great. Okay, television, chaps. Television. Some great shows again in '88. I want to start off with this one. You guys know what this is? Give you a clue. This is its second go. So there was a show in the 60s. It did, I think it was 7 seasons. Yep, 7 seasons in the 60s. And then it came back in 88 for 2 seasons.
That's Peter Graves, right? The actor?
It spawned a movie franchise phenomenon. Give you a clue, shall I give you a clue?
Yeah, please.
Dun, 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 dun.
Mission Impossible.
Yeah. So this is Mission Impossible. So this is the cast of the 88 2-season revival of Mission Impossible. It's not Benny. No, it's not Benny. It's not Crossroads. Dead Man, spot on. Mission Impossible. I remember nothing about this series. I remember the 60s series, but I don't remember anything about this. It did 2 seasons, 88 episodes in total. Went past me. But what it did do is this is what's kind of put alongside as being the kind of the ability and the inspiration for the movies to start kicking off with good old Tom Cruise. And then we've had a whole host of Mission Impossible movies. We've got the latest one coming out in this year or next year, I think. Potentially the end to the entire series, we'll see. Final Reckoning. So 7 movies released so far. I want to know what your favourite of the Mission Impossible movies is and how much you think this franchise has made at the box office.
I've only seen one.
Wow.
And it was the first one. So I can't comment on this, James.
Efren, these movies are so far removed from what that first like they are incredible. I think like
Really?
incredible showcases of stunt work and set pieces, action set pieces.
I gotta watch
Really
it.
like industry leading in terms of action movies. I'm split between two. The Ghost Protocol was the first one that I really loved. Like I knew it, and I like spy stuff, so I kind of like had watched the other ones, but like that one, I was like, wow, that was amazing. You know, like him scaling the building into what's the name of it, the tallest building in the world. That was amazing. There's a bit where he's like sneaking out of like a Russian. I think it's the Kremlin building or something like that, and he's
Kremlin.
like he's literally walking out and he's just taking his suit off, flips the jacket out, and he like puts glasses on, and now he's a tourist. So I thought that was great. So like I love that one. And then Fallout is incredible, I think, as well. Like Fallout has like the skydiving sequence. I think that's the one where he's hanging off the plane as well. And then Henry Cavill in that movie as the kind of rival spy. Like that bathroom fight sequence where he comes up and he just cocks his arms. Like,
Loads
it's
his guns.
just- it's so good. Like so, yeah. Like those two, they're top tier action.
I mean,
movies, I think.
I absolutely love this franchise. This is one of those franchises for me that as soon as the music kicks in, I just smile, and I don't know why.
Yeah, same.
You know, nothing can be. As soon as the music starts, I'm like, yeah, this is great. I have to say, if I had to pick a favourite out of all of them, as much as I love the action and the Tom Cruise doing ridiculous special effects and stuff, I think I prefer the first one. I like the spy element to it more. Do you know what I mean? I love the twist at the end because it was fresh and new, so just totally didn't see the double cross coming.
Yeah.
I love the fact Emilio Estevez, big actor, bumped off in no, you know. So I like that element of it. How much do you think the franchise has made so far? Then
I know the later ones do make like 6, 7, 800 million. So I
At least
I
2
guess like
billion.
3 billion.
yeah. So just over 4 billion,
Wow.
Okay.
which is a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money for little Tom. Yeah.
Usually like top 3 guys grossing.
Oh, yeah.
Usually every year. So yeah.
But we must be coming to an end of Cruise's involvement because he physically cannot be doing this shit much longer.
I mean, a couple of times they tried to like pass the torch. They got Jeremy Renner in, you know, and that was supposed to be a pass the torch thing, and then he stuck around for 2 movies and left. So like, you know, is there anyone that could lead that franchise and he takes on the mentor role or something? You know,
I'm sure there will be eventually.
Oh yeah.
Pass the torch somehow.
Fuzzy's just saying Missionary Impossible, something totally different. I've got that one as well, mate. I have got that one as well. That's gone over James's head.
What?
Missionary Impossible. Do you know what Fuzzy's alluding to?
Yeah, sex.
Yes. All of them on TV. Those 88 ones are rather miserable. Chris, I generally don't think I've seen any of them. Chris, you need to get yourself around Terry's house. He's got them on video and watch them, mate. Some cracking movies, some good action movies. Badly named series of all time. Congratulations on completing your 100th mission impossible. Yeah, the missions aren't really that impossible, are they? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Mission probable, it should be, something like that. First one for me, so good compared to the others. Yeah, I enjoyed the first one. The ones where he jumps off something are good, yeah? I can't be watching him hanging off, I can't pronounce that, but or whatever it's called, makes my nuts shrivel, yeah. And the fact that Tom Cruise does so many of these stunts himself is just scary. Douglas Scott as the baddie in number 2 is atrocious casting. I think, for me, number 2 is the worst out of all of them. And,
yeah, I think that's inarguable.
Yeah.
It's sort of weird. The John Woo-ness didn't really work in it, and like, you know, it's a bit too bombastic, I think.
Von Hoot is saying the last one was painfully written. Fallout is the nuts. It's interesting because the last one was bigged up beyond belief, and I did enjoy it. It didn't blow us away. It felt like I'd gone to the cinema literally just waiting to see that motorbike scene because they talked about it so much. You know, even Haley Atwell didn't really save it for us, to be honest. I'm not seeing the last one. Waiting on the second part to come out on DVD and watch them together. That's a good plan, mate. That's a good plan. I've loved the scene where he broke his ankle. Yeah, that was rough, mate. That was rough. So Efren, he was doing, like I say, he does all of his own stunts, and he jumps across a building. And when he jumps, he misses the ledge, and his ankle hits the edge, and he gets up and continues running, but limping. It's all in the film, but in real life, he shattered his ankle. Broke his ankle doing the stunt, but just kept going.
Kept going.
Just
like,
kept going.
play.
Insane.
Mad.
Insane. Taking over Bond, apparently. Well, that's interesting, Phil. Didn't know that. 88 was the 25th anniversary of Doctor Who, and the second to last season before it originally got cancelled. Shame as the stories had not good gain. Shame as the stories had got good again after the dodgy few years. I can barely remember Doctor Who from back then. I'm just rapidly going through the comments here, guys. Thank you so much for all your engagement. It's much appreciated. AI Tom Cruise, yeah.
I'm sure.
I mean, he might be AI now. We don't know. I love the last 20 minutes of number 2. The rest is utter cack. Is that the knife fight in the beach in Australia, Von Hoot? That's quite good. The rest is utter cack, but the final 20 is pure John Woo genius. On the motorbikes as well, isn't it? Again, Cruise did all of his own bike work.
Where they jump and hit each other in the so stupid.
Right over his head. Absolutely fuzzy. Absolutely. Mission piss easy. Yeah. I was talking about the TV series, but I do have the films as well. I noticed in the chat somebody mentioned Doctor Who. Yes, I forgot all about that. Sylvester McCoy at the time. We'll have to do some more Doctor Who stuff because I'm a bit of a Who fan. Scott was going to play Wolverine but picked Mission Impossible 2. Wow. Yep. That's a poor choice.
Yeah.
I mean, for him, not for us. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, that's a shame. We've got Phil. Nice to see you, Phil. Hope you're doing well, bud. Apart from the first film, none of the others seemed to me anything to do with the original premise of the programme. They had the same music, Terry, that's about it. Yeah, not as spy related. I think it becomes much more of an action franchise. And it's a fact too, as easily as I would agree with that. The one where he jumped over Oprah's sofa was a step too far. Yeah, I saw that one as well. Okay, next, moving on, other TV stuff that we just wanted to mention. I'm going to mention this one briefly, guys, because I haven't got a frigging clue, really. This is Dino Riders. Now, every time we talk about cartoons and toys, people tell us Dino Riders was the biz. Everybody seems to love the toy franchise. It completely missed me by, this series. And when I've done the bit of research for the show, that's probably because it was only 14 cartoon episodes. It wasn't a big series at all. Big toy line, 4 different series of the toys, the action figures. Basic story is 2 futuristic races go back in time and they're fighting each other and they start using dinosaurs to fight the battles for them. You guys familiar with this franchise at all?
I've heard of it. I think, has Simon mentioned it a couple of times that he loves it?
Yeah.
I think, and then just on shows and stuff like that, I'm aware of the iconography of a dinosaur with rocket stuff on it and shit, but like I'm not familiar with what kind of cartoon it was or anything else about the franchise really.
Me neither. I mean, anybody in the chat familiar with Dino Riders? Because, like I say, it's a one that's mentioned a lot, but I mean, Efren, don't presume you're into Dino Riders?
Nah, never even heard of it until right now. Was it a book or was it a TV show?
Cartoon series. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And then toys.
Cool. I like the toys.
It was designed to sell toys, like a lot of these cartoons were back in the day. Yeah. And there's no denying the T-Rex looks very cool there. It's just not something that for some reason I got into. Von Hoot, Dino Riders was dope. Not sure he actually aired over here. That might be why I can't remember it then. We didn't get some of the American cartoons, but they did come out in kind of VHSs over Christmas period, like you say. I remember this. Who doesn't love dinosaurs with lasers? Yeah. Wayne loved the Dino Riders. Heard of Dino Rod?
Dino Rod.
Don't know. Things I wouldn't ride. Dinosaurs probably is near the top. It's what our last calls herself these days. Wow. Moving on. Superboy. I remember this one vaguely. Efren, have you got any memories of this series?
Even remember it. I mean, I remember seeing the picture now, but no, I never seen this at all.
So we've got 4 seasons of this. They changed the lead actor halfway through and renamed it to The Adventures of Superboy for season 3 and 4. 100 episodes in total. Some interesting images. I recognise them, but I can't remember anything about the show. But they had Mr. I can't say his name. Mr. Pliglix.
I can't even pronounce it. Mr. Mizzleplastic.
They had an interesting looking version of Bizarro. They binned it basically after 4 seasons because this was set obviously as Superboy in Smallville and all the rest of it, and they wanted to try and get to a more adult audience. So Lois and Clark, New Adventures of Superman, came out not long after this, starring Terry Hatcher and Dean Cain. I've got no recollection of this other than seeing some of the imagery. I don't think I watched this at all, which is surprising because I would have been, like I say, 11 around the time this came out. So it feels like something I would have gravitated to watch, you know. Wayne, it's just saying, never seen Superboy. Grey Man, there was a comic tie-in. I think I had a few copies of the comic Grey Man because I think some of them had the covers were like photos from the show, and that's probably where I recognise it from more than having seen it on TV. Terry's saying, did we have it in the UK? That's a good point, Terry. Maybe it didn't come over here. Gray never saw it either. Right, here we go.
Mick, yes, Bittle, whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to go with what Efren said. Yeah, what Efren said. Don't remember this at all, but can't have been over here. Yeah, I've got a feeling it didn't come. 4 seasons, I knew it existed, but I had no idea it went on that long. Yeah, it was an iconic show, Dino Riders. So yeah, I've got a feeling we didn't get this over here. I might check it out just to watch an episode of it, to be honest, just to see what it's like. But can't remember an episode of it. Yeah. Couple of other shows I just want to mention. 88 was the year we got the phenomenal Wonder Years. Do you guys remember the Wonder Years?
Yes.
I've only seen a little bit of it.
Yeah. Loved it. Just loved it. Again, Efren, I look to you to tell us something, but I can't remember what the show was actually about. I can't remember what the episodes were. I remember the theme tune, and I remember him, was he called Fred?
Kevin.
Is it Fred Savage? Yeah.
Fred Savage, yeah. His name was Kevin, I believe, in the Wonder Years.
Yeah. And I remember loving it. I think it was just grown up angst and things like that, and family values, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just a nostalgia show of Kevin, the main character, just growing up and, the tribulations, the highs and lows of, falling in love with Winnie and, not ending up with her and just everything, the whole show. And, the father dies, at the end, I believe, if I remember correctly. They did a reboot of it a couple years ago, the Wonder Years. Here.
Did they? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So again, a classic one that I do have fond memories of, but I remember liking it, but I cannot remember what it was really about. Roseanne over here in the UK was one of those shows that we watched Friday nights as a family, sat around the TV. She's mental now, isn't she? But but back then, absolutely superb. Red Dwarf aired for the first time in '88. Red Dwarf, a phenomenal British sci-fi series. Efren, are you familiar with Red Dwarf?
No, I heard of it.
Great comedy sci-fi. I would argue the first season in '88 wasn't the best, but it gets much better after that. Some of the later seasons are a bit rough, but it's a silly kind of comedy sci-fi, but with some great episodes. I love that. Candocula, massive favourite of mine. Cartoon voiced by David Jason. Spin-off from Danger Mouse about the vampire vegetarian duck. Just great cartoon, great comic book series as well. And then we've got Freddy's Nightmares. Ooh. James, I'm not sure I've ever seen an episode.
It's surprisingly good. So it's like Freddy's sort of it's like a creep show or like Tales from the Crypt. It's like Freddy's the Crypt Keeper character. So he intros and outros every episode. And then it can be kind of about like offense, thematically similar to Nightmare on Elm Street. But usually they're standalone anthology horror stories. Some of them do include him. Like there's an episode about his trial as a child murderer.
Right. Okay.
I think there's a couple of other episodes that feature him directly, but like it went for 2 seasons. It was pretty good. I've only seen a handful of episodes because they were included on my Blu-ray box set for the movies.
Okay.
But actually, I can't find. I don't know if there is like a Blu-ray of the whole series. I would sit down and binge the whole thing. Particularly, I've never seen. Is the what?
Same actor, sorry, from the movie.
Yeah, Robert Englund. Yeah. Official Nightmare on Elm Street canon. So
Gotcha.
It's worth. I'll try and catch it out at some point. Try and watch it. Any of those anyone wants to say about before we move on? Efren, come to you first. You haven't. Is there anything you want to say? Or
No, I've never seen Roseanne.
you've never seen Roseanne?
Never seen it. No.
Wow, I thought that was like an American staple. I thought everybody had to watch Roseanne.
Went right past me.
Yeah. Oh, I loved it. Loved it. James, how about you? Anything else?
Freddy's Nightmares is the only thing here I've seen.
Yeah. Okay, just quickly jump to the chat. Wonder Years. Watched Wonder Years recently. A great show. Yeah. Wonder Years I remember liking, but I have no idea why. That's the same as me.
It's a nostalgia show. You know, just,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Winnie did things to me as a kid. Okay. 88, yeah, Fred Savage stopped aging. Yeah, he's always looked the same. He did that special, didn't he? The Christmas special with Deadpool for a video or something, or a re-release for Deadpool 2, I think it was.
Yeah. It was the PG version.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Deadpool. And so the whole thing is Deadpool's in Fred Savage's bedroom. Telling him the story of what Deadpool 2.
I don't know what else he's done. He was the kid in Princess Bride, wasn't he?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I'm sure reminders in the chat, guys. Is Fred Savage the kid from the Princess Bride?
He is. Yeah, but Peter Falk. I
Peter
believe.
Falk, yeah, is reading the story too. I loved Roseanne, wonderful sitcom it was. It was great back in the day. The son from Roseanne went on to be the guy in the Big Bang Theory.
No,
Is that
it's
right?
somebody else. No, that was he dated Sarah Gilbert's character. So, but it was her boyfriend.
Yeah,
And then
Johnny
he went on-
Galecki.
Johnny Galecki. He went on
Yeah.
to the Big Bang Theory after that. Yeah, but it wasn't the son. Yeah.
There was always that rumor, wasn't there? That I can't remember what the character's name was.
That's a rare fuzzy correction.
I'm letting it pass because Fuzzy's
I
very
believe,
rarely wrong.
I'm just going to
Fuzzy's
step
very
in.
rarely wrong.
Fuzzy, I believe you're thinking of National Lampoon. He's the son in National Lampoon's vacation series. So maybe that's what you're thinking of.
Oh, he was in that show, that movie. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, wow.
Griswold's kid, yeah.
I love the Griswolds. But there was an urban myth, wasn't it, that the Glakey kid there with glasses, bless him, sorry, don't mean to be disparaging, but there was all this thing that he was actually Marilyn Manson. Do you know the horrendous rock
Yeah,
singer? Yeah, but I'm not sure that was ever true. So yeah, everybody's picking on Fuzzy in the chat. No, not the son, Fuzzy. Oh, Fuzzy wasn't Bottomy. Oh, Bottom. But again, a very British comedy, Efren, that you won't be aware of. Rick Mail and Ed Edmondson, superb. Bat Dan, if you haven't read it, highly recommend Rick Mail's autobiography, Better Than God, I think it's called. It's absolutely hilarious, and it's written in typical Rick Mail, just insanity. So no page kind of makes sense. It all just jumps all over, but it's superb, absolutely superb. Am I right in saying that Freddy isn't actually in the episodes of Freddy's Nightmare?
Most of them, no. There's the trial episode, and then I think there's a couple of other episodes that he features as a side character in. But he's in every episode technically because he's introducing them and stuff. Yeah.
I'm rewatching Red Dwarf right now. It's truly brilliant after series 1. Yeah, my favourite Von Hoot is Dwayne Dibley. I love the Dwayne Dibley episodes. And Ace Rimmer. Smoke Me a Kipper. I love Ace Rimmer. Red Dwarf is cool. It is great. It's a great series. It's a shame it never kind of... I'm saying it didn't take off. It did. It did well in the UK. I don't think it translates well overseas. I've seen a couple of Freddy's Nightmares episodes. It's all right. Darlene was in Big Bang 2. Fred Savage is in the Princess Bride. I thought he was. He was in The Wizard about a Nintendo competition.
Oh yeah. Did you ever see The Wizard?
I don't think so. I don't recognize
No,
that one.
it's literally basically the whole movie's basically a Nintendo ad for the Power Glove. Like, yeah, it's crazy. Christian Slater's
Love Count Duckula. Yeah, Count Duckula's amazing. Little Monsters. Yep, I have seen that. Just googled Superboy. Britt Eklund played Lara, and George Lazenby played Jor-El. George Lazenby, that's Bond, isn't it? James Bond.
Yeah.
One James Bond movie.
No mention of it being shown on the UK. One of the funniest shows to come out of the UK, Red Dwarf, absolutely. We've got MJ Comics. Nice to see you, MJ. We are just reminiscing about 88 TV. Dead Man, I asked Google and it says Superboy aired in the UK in January 89. Doesn't say which channel though. Totally missed that one. Won't do well in the US, I doubt. Yeah. Okay, last thing that came out in 88 that like I say, guys, when I'm doing the research for this show, things just kind of crop up and I think it hits you in the nostalgia feels. So again, a show that I couldn't tell you much about, but I kind of saw it and I thought I have to put it on for Fuzzy. This was the year that we got probably the best thing to come out of Scotland, and that was the iconic Rab C. Nesbitt. Are any of you familiar with Rab C. Nesbitt?
I don't know why you're asking, Efren.
Because I would imagine Rab C. Would translate well
sensation.
over in the States. Yeah, with his string vest and he's never seen Rab C. Efren? No.
Rob C with just the letter C.
Rab C. Nesbitt. I think you need to Google it. You'll not understand. Do you know when John Lees is on the show and you're often, here's a little behind the curtain, ladies and gents, behind the curtain. Quite often at the end of the show, Efren will say to me, "I didn't understand a word that man said," and we'll have gone an entire show. Rab C. Nesbitt, is just like that. Efren, you'll have to Google him afterwards because he is. Just a superb show. Best thing about that year is my wife being born. Wow. See, you're just a kid as well, James. How old are you, James? Tell us in the chat. Because I feel very old. Not as old as Efren, obviously, but yeah.
We are pretty old, though.
Yeah, you smooth bastard, yeah. Very tall, yeah. The Dave channel have done a couple of seasons of Red Wolf, but keep threatening to make another one. Phil, amazing series. Is she watching MJ because Maniac Cop coming out the same year? Says otherwise. Be still my beating deep fried heart. Scotland, Efren, in case you're not aware, is the area of cultural brilliance that gave with a deep fried Mars bar. So do you remember when we had fish and chips in London?
Yes,
So if you imagine that, I licked my lips there instinctively when I said fish and chips. If you imagine that crispy batter on a chocolate Mars bar.
Now, is Mars different? Is Mars like a Three Musketeers bar?
I'm not sure, but they do a lot of deep fry at state fairs here in the United States. They have one in San Diego. They have a monthly, not monthly, but in July they have a fair that goes on for about 3 to 4 weeks, and they have a lot of fried food, everything they can think of. They fry it there.
I'm chuckling to myself here, guys, because I just had a sudden flashback to when we picked Efren up in Newcastle Airport and started driving. Do you remember, James? I can't remember if it was on the way back or the way there, but we had to stop at the gas station.
Yeah, I remember.
For Efren to sample chocolate bars. And the look of disgust on his face when it was like...
I was curious why, when there's all these Cadbury's bars and everything you could try, you went, I'm going to have a Snickers.
It's not the same.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
But I know that in Scotland they do a thing where they take frozen pizza and they deep fry it. They batter it and deep fry it, and I'm like, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Battered deep frying bread is just gonna soak up all the oil, surely.
Sean's saying, tried watching Rab C last year. It's brilliant, but you really do need subtitles. Yeah. Rab was brilliant. I rarely understood anything he said, but I laughed along.
I won't understand anything.
I've had sex with 2 out of 3 of them women. Nice, Fuzzy. Nice. I've never seen Rab C. He is the prince. Yeah, Anton saying Fred Savage is in The Princess Bride. 37. Christ, you're a child, James, man. You're a child. I'm 10 years older than you. Wow. I could murder fish and chips right now. See what I've started.
I had a chipper earlier today. It's nice.
Nice.
We've also invented the telephone, TV, the MRI scanner, but deep fried Mars.
It's a great accomplishment,
Yeah. Golf and football too, Andy. Yeah. Tell me, Andy, what part did you play in any of those? Yeah. So that's TV, guys. We're getting near to the end of the show now. So last couple of sections, we've got a bit of gaming news. So these are games that were popular or came out in 1988. This is the bit of the show, James, where I haven't got a clue what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
I do remember playing some of these. So I'm going to start off with what I think was one of the best games of all time.
I played this game.
Efren, your reaction was exactly what it should be, because this was a classic game. This is Altered Beast. It was out in the Sega Master System and the Genesis, I believe, Mega Drive or whatever. Just a sideways scrolling battle game where basically you start off as a human, and as you collect orbs, you kind of power up to a werewolf, and then later on a dragon and things, and just a phenomenal game. Efren, you've played this one, yeah?
Oh, I love this game when it came out. I'm not much of a gamer like James, at all, but man, I love this game when it came out. I used to play it constantly. I think there was some kind of voice to it. They used to be attached to it, if I remember. I forgot what they said exactly, but I used to love this game. Yeah, this brings back a lot of good memories. Altered Beast, nice.
A classic. You ever played it, James?
I think it was on the NES thing I had, so I had a go of it. But I think we make a really cool modern game out of that.
Oh yeah,
where as you go, you upgrade and stuff, and like you become more and more powerful, like monster. I think that's such a cool idea. So
cool.
Great powers as well in it. Great powers. James is just saying he's editing a video of acquiring his video game Grail. Cost me a small fortune. Interesting to see that one. Yeah, because games go for big money these days. I mean, I'm not a game collector myself, so I've not really looked into prices, but some of them go for chunky bits of cash, I think, don't they? So yeah, looking forward to that. There's lots of fighting here about Scotland going on. Mega Drive version was the boss. I think that's what I had, Von Hoot. I think I had the Mega Drive. I had this. It was of very limited interest for me. Yeah, you were a bit older at the time, Gray, weren't you? This was right around my kind of heyday of playing on computer games. Double Dragon, superb. Ghouls and Ghosts, going to come to that in a second, mate.
Yes.
Splatterhouse.
Do you have Splatterhouse on it?
I don't think I've got Splatterhouse.
Oh, yeah. Splatterhouse is great. I'll rattle off a few at the end anyway.
I've heard that about you. Yeah. Couple of big Nintendo games. We've got RoboCop, which I had and loved. Ghouls and Ghosts was one of the go-to games of the day. Classic game. Again, sideways scrolling seemed to be the big thing. But James, this was the year we got Super Mario Bros. Number 3 out, I believe.
Widely regarded as one of the best games ever made.
Wow.
Yeah, like probably I would say the best side-scrolling platformer game ever made, definitely. Really, shook up the formula with the kind of the furry costume and how you can like start flying and use your tail and stuff like that. Like it was really, really, really cool. And it still holds up today. I remember I played it not too long ago.
I don't think I've ever played it.
No, it's great. It's great.
I don't think
really
so.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Efren, have you played that one?
I might have. I can't remember him flying. It's the one video games I usually I don't play that many video games. But when I was a kid, Altered, that one before, and Super Mario Brothers, I used to play them. I still play Super Mario Kart. I love that game for some reason. I constantly play that game. So
Mega Man, James. That's not really one I'm not familiar with. Something that you've played?
Yeah, I played a couple of them. Not the big fan base. People love it. There was a hiatus for a while. I don't think we've had. I think they just continually get delayed. But like you're a little robot man. The covers are weird because it's like more animated looking.
So I was going to ask you that cover.
Yeah.
I presume in Mega Man, I watched that Secret Level series on Amazon.
That's what he looks like in the game.
Right, and there's a Mega Man version on that, which was really cool.
So like that's what he looks like in the game, but on the cover, it's a weird like realistic proportions thing.
Lots of people here saying Mario 3 was great. Was also the final game in the movie The Wizard.
It was, yes.
It was. That's a perfect callback, Sean. Perfect callback. Chris Bell saying he had one of the first 3 copies of Mario 3 in the country. He won it in a competition.
Wow.
Have you still got it, Chris? Because I bet that might be worth a bit of money as well. Interesting stuff. Moving on. Oh, anything else you want to talk about games-wise, James?
Yeah, just rattle through a few. Final Fantasy 2 came out, so I know that's a revolutionary one. Mega Man 2, we said. Double Dragon 2. Big year for sequels, yeah. Double Dragon was great. Snatcher. You ever heard of Snatcher?
No.
Sort of like a choose your own adventure thing, but it was Hideo Kojima went on to do Metal Gear. It was his first game, so that's kind of noteworthy. Bionic Commando. No, never heard of it. It's
Don't
like
think so.
sort of Duke Nukem, the John Cobb Van Damme type character, and you like have an arm that can shoot a grappling hook, and you swing basically. And it's
Okay.
like you swing and avoid things. It's really good.
Show us how you swing again, James.
You do that.
Oh, I've got it.
Yeah, you swing. Splatterhouse then was you're sort of like a Jason Voorhees kind of character. It's side scrolling, killing like monsters and stuff. It was really great.
Missed that one as well.
Yeah, that's a great one. They did a modern one like 10 years ago. It was decent as well. Dragon Ball, yeah, those are kind of the
Good
big ones.
stuff.
So,
Do you
Good stuff.
really quick question for James? I mean, you're the gamer, obviously. When you play these older games, do they stack up to the newer games? I mean, graphic wise, they don't. Do they hold your interest, or you get all this kind of boring? I don't want to do this, or do you just like playing them?
it depends on how far back you go. So like, I can play Spyro, which came out 30 years ago. I can play that now, and I still think it plays great. Like some games age better than others. It just depends. Like side scrolling is kind of a classic thing, So like a Mario game is never really going to age badly, like because it's you run and you jump, and
have fun.
it feels good to play. So
I think it just depends what your nostalgia feel is, Efren. So I know Christmas time when James convinces to buy whatever that thing is I've got downstairs. What is it, a PlayStation 5 or something?
Yeah.
4 or something? Yeah.
Do you play it at all, or
No, but all these fancy top of the range graphics games and things like that. And the game I ended up playing most on was a side-scrolling Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles free game thing. Spent hours on that.
We played a bit of Helldivers.
We did. We played
It's funny.
Helldivers a bit. Yeah.
Just give everyone a little bit of a behind the scenes thing. But me and Peter have a video game kind of let's play thing coming up soon on the horror channel, and Peter has repeatedly said to me, I don't really like games, I don't really play games, I'm not a gamer. And I'm like, do you not just trust me that you're gonna enjoy
Okay, Mr. Keegan. Okay,
Right.
let's be honest. Just because we're airing with laundry, do you know what I mean? Let's be honest.
Okay, yeah.
My sphincter tightened immensely when you said, Peter, this game for the playthrough, we're going to probably need about 6 to 8 hours. When can you do that with us?
Yeah.
What?
You have
I'm
a
47. I haven't got 6 to 8 hours to play a computer game.
Man, you do like 6 live shows a week. Like, don't tell me you don't have 6 hours over a month to fucking
hours.
squeeze out,
Jesus. Shredder's Revenge. That's the one, Phil. That's the one. Right. Okay, let's move on, guys. End of the show. We'd just like to end things with a little bit of foodiness. And again, as usual, guys, I'm this is the computer segment you've talked about.
Yes, promise it is coming. I have investigated how to actually do it.
Yeah. So, guys, milkshakes. My milkshake brings all the girls to the yard and all that kind of stuff. Bit of milkshake news from '88. Any idea what that might be? Give you a clue. Bit of a record
fast
breaker.
food restaurant?
Record break. I remember last time we started with the world's record for a banana split.
Is it like not the? I assume it's not the biggest because that's just the same. Is it like the most drank in an hour or something like that?
No, it is the biggest. It is the
milkshake?
biggest.
Okay.
So I'll give you some details. Whilst I'm doing that, I want you to think, and you're allowed one, the only milkshake you can drink for the rest of your life. Okay. So this was in Canada. Was a set in a world record. It weighed 55,000 pounds. Right. It was 44,689 pounds of ice cream, and the rest of that weight was made up with syrup and toppings.
Jesus.
That's a cinema milkshake, that, isn't it? That's the one you're going to sit when you're watching, a long movie. So yeah, obscene. So that was the record breaker of the time. Milkshake, guys. I'm gonna go incredibly boring. Banana milkshake. You cannot beat a proper traditional blended bananas. No banana flavouring bollocks. A proper banana milkshake for me is. Did you just go? What was that?
I was
You were like a lizard there. You went,
banana milkshake, you basic bitch.
Efren, I'm going to come to you, Efren, what's your milkshake of choice?
I'm just almost like you, Peter. To me, I mean, these all look great, but to me, it's a vanilla milkshake. That's my go-to milkshake. I just like the flavor of it. Nothing added to it, just a plain vanilla milkshake. So I don't know why. I mean, I've had other milkshakes, obviously, but to me, if I only had one for the rest of my life, would be a vanilla for sure.
So this is really interesting because I think this is going to be kind of like a test of maturity. Do you know what I mean? So we've got Efren, we're old school, just vanilla. basic vanilla. We've got me, little bit older than you, bit older than that, you know. And I'm going for the next basic. I'm going for banana.
Yeah.
We'll now come to the child of the group, and he's going to want bubblegum flavour, candy dots, candy floss, sprinkles, coat. The glass has got to be coated in friggin' Nutella or some shite. Yeah. So Mr. Keegan. What are we going for?
So, well, first off, I can't really pinpoint the best milkshake I've ever had. I don't know. I never really. I've had bad milkshakes, but I've never really rated.
So you should. That's a good interview question.
Yeah.
Just for future, if you're applying for jobs.
You just got to think about it. But we used to have a place called Shake Shack. It's not Shake Shack like they have in America. It was like the Eddie's Shake Shack or something, and it was like they had like just chocolate bars, like different brands, like Kinder Bueno and stuff like that. So I remember a Kinder Bueno milkshake was really good there. Reese's peanut butter cup milkshake is pretty good as well, so I like that. But like, no, honestly, I'm a big fan of a Shamrock Shake and mint.
I'm sorry, a
milkshake.
what?
A Shamrock Shake, like they have in McDonald's.
What the hell's a Shamrock Shake?
It's a mint milkshake. They have it.
We don't have that yet.
They have it around Paddy's Day, and do they have it in America?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yes.
Yeah, Shamrock Shake.
Can't say I've had one of them. So just
Have
a
look at
mint.
McDonald's. It's around March. It's always around Paddy's Day that they have them.
Yeah.
So like a mint chocolate like milkshake, like half chocolate, half mint.
An after 8 mint kind of.
A bit lighter than that, I would say, but like it's pretty good, I have to say. So like half chocolate, half mint milkshake. Very basic. But yeah,
Let's so SM mint milkshake. She's the same.
There we go.
We didn't have milkshakes in Red Car back in '88. I can tell you that. We'd only just stopped using carriages to get around. Yeah. Banana. Yeah, same as me. Sounds similar to me. Imagine the size of the straw for that milkshake. Yeah, obscene. Remember when Mars brought out milkshakes in the 90s and pretended it was good for you? We had a run of them, didn't we, Von Hood? Because we had Mars bar, Galaxy chocolate, all the kind of... In fact, you can still get them in Asda.
Oh, the like chocolate milk. That's Galaxy has a good one.
But it was like a sports drink. It was the... Do you know, it was the Red Bull of the day. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Would finish the banana split by the time I finished the movie marathon. Wee buds. I'm fond of the sweets shakes, like a Skittles sour shake. Wow.
I don't really
Phil, you're geek posh, you, Phil. Geek posh. I love those Mars shakes. So much sugar in it. Yeah,
I love chocolate milk. Chocolate milk is so good. Sometimes I have a hankering for it. Yeah.
Now and then. My kids get these straws. Anybody else who's got younger kids in the chat, they get these Nestle straws, and it's like a clear straw with little pellets in it.
Yeah.
And as you're drinking the milk, it colours or something on the way up. Looks revolve. Nesquik was nice, I thought. Not gonna lie, didn't think we'd have as much chat about milkshake, but there we are. Milkshakes were here, powdered milk mixed with milk, like Nesquik. Yeah. Wimpy. Remember Wimpy back in the day? Wimpy was where you went to for kind of birthday parties and things. Everybody was having a Wimpy party. Don't think there's many of them around now. Nesquik, mint, middle class wanker.
What can I say?
I love milkshakes from Harrods. Christ, Wayne, never had a Harrods milkshake. Holy crap, Wimpy still have a website. I think there's still a couple of Wimpys around, Von Hood. Paper straws ruin the milkshake experience. Yeah, that's why Trump's getting rid of them, mate. Down with turtles. Not milkshake, but I remember cremola foam. I don't know what that is. Anyone know what cremola foam is?
Look it up.
You taste the powder and what you mixed in it. I don't remember. Wayne Harrods cook off. As a kid, I was always jealous of my rich neighbours who could get chocolate milk.
It's like a tinned. Cremola foam was a soft drink produced in the form of effervescent crystals that were mixed with water. It's in a can. It's in like a tin, like a baked beans tin.
Don't remember
style.
them. Remember Soda Streams? They were the rage. McDonald's milkshakes with a paper straw.
It's awful. I just eat it with a spoon, really. Like.
Okay, moving on. Speaking of McDonald's, bit of McDonald's news in '88. Any idea what this might be, guys?
Introduction of a new hamburger, probably.
No, this is you'll not get it, I guess. This is the an anniversary of the 10,000th McDonald's restaurant opening in Virginia. So it was a big celebration because it was their 10,000th restaurant. which is mental. So McDonald's been around since the early 40s. Great film by Michael Keaton out there called The Founder. Recommend you watching that. So 10,000 restaurants in 1988. How many restaurants do you think they've got in 2023? Couldn't get this year's, but 2023.
10,088.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'd say at least 50,000.
Little bit less.
Less? I thought I was going to go higher than that.
42. Yeah, 42,000. It's still a hell of a lot. This little interesting one. How many hamburgers do you think they sell every second?
Now?
Yeah.
In the whole world? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Across all of their burgers, like...
Yeah, a second.
Per second.
10,000?
A second? No, it's much less than that. So 75 burgers a second are being sold. Equates to around about 2.36 billion burgers a year being sold.
You know, when I was in London with you guys, it wasn't London. It was where the con was. There was a McDonald's there.
Yeah.
I believe I wanted to go.
You wouldn't like it.
You'd
You'd still be hungry after because the portions are a lot smaller. Like really small.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. McDonald's stopped counting how many burgers how many burgers they sell in the mid 80s because it was just getting astronomical. So they celebrated was it 100 billion burgers at one point or something? They reckon there were about 400 billion burgers in total being sold now.
Crazy.
It's just insane, the numbers that were coming out. Just jumping to the chat, guys. SodaStream. Yeah, I loved me SodaStream. Some weird flavours, but I do remember. Do you guys familiar with SodaStream?
Never heard of it.
I've heard of it. What is it?
So it was a machine that you bought if you're posh, I guess. And it was basically how to carbonate your own drinks.
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you'd buy jars of syrup and then put it in the water and fizz it up, basically. Ever put milk in a SodaStream? Trust me, it's a mistake. Yeah. All rights reserved. Ignored. Absolutely, Andy. Absolutely. McDonald's have never failed. I'm sure Greggs have. Well, Greggs sell obscene amounts of sausage rolls. There was a show I was watching the other day, and I can't remember what the number was, but they told Heston Blumenthal, who I'm a big fan of, had made this Geek Posh sausage roll, and the guys who he gave it to told them how many sausage rolls Greggs sell every day or whatever, and you could see he just broke his heart.
I'm still annoyed we didn't get Efren a Greggs sausage roll.
This time, man. I'll send him one. I'll post it. Controversial. McDonald's is here is far nicer than in the States. Okay. Andy, best burger spot. I'm gonna go with that place James and you took us to when I was in Ireland.
Bunsen.
The first time I had a burger.
Bunsen.
The second time I didn't like.
That was because it was in
Bunsen.
Belfast.
Ah, right. Yeah. Five Guys. Not had a Five Guys recently.
I think it's just so expensive for what you get. I think it's just not worth it. I've been a couple of times.
What about you guys? And where's your favourite burger? Weatherspoon's burgers get stuffed. James' favourite burger?
Bunsen. It's my favourite, the best burger. And there was a place, a Brazilian barbecue place called Beef Skewer. That is the best burger I've ever had. I bit into it and I was like in shock at how good it was. I was with Jeff and like it was it was a special moment and I'll never forget it. But the place is gone now, so it's just we're never gonna have that burger again. So Bunsen.
What a lovely memory.
Bunsen is currently the best burger you can get in the city.
Efren, yourself?
Well, there's a lot of burger spots. I'm just talking about not like franchises in here in San Diego. There's all kinds of good burgers, but franchise-wise, if you guys ever come here, I told you I'm gonna take you to In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah.
They have a secret menu. You know, it usually is, and their menu has not changed like since forever. It's either a single or a double, but then they have a secret menu. You can order like animal fries, or you can order 3x3 or 4x4. It's a whole list of things that you can order on the side that they don't have it on the menu. They call it a secret menu. But In-N-Out, you know, they have the vanilla milkshake there too. So, you know,
that's on the list for when we come over. That's on the list. Fuzzy Rustlers, dear God, man, Monkey.
After
Right.
it's microwaved, like you just stick it in the microwave with the bun and
Baps.
everything.
Baps Belfast is the best. I once did a show when I was with the cadets, and we did this place, and I had boil in the bag burgers, and they were just like eating dog food slop. It was horrible. Efren, last slide, and I wanted to talk to you about these because these came out this year. Teddy, how do I pronounce that? Is it Graham's?
Grams.
Graham's?
Graham cracker.
Graham.
So I'm not aware of it. Do we have graham crackers in the UK? Do you have them in Ireland, James? Graham crackers?
No, is Graham's a brand though, isn't it? I don't know what
No,
type.
no,
of, I'm sure we have a cracker.
No,
That's
graham
very
is the
similar.
kind of cracker, because I had a little look and the cracker itself is graham crackers.
Yes.
We must call it something else then. I can't imagine there's an exclusive type
So
of cracker.
I did a Google, and the nearest thing I could find was rye vita. But I don't think that cannot be right. You cannot be having a honey flavoured rye vita
Yeah.
or a chocolate rye vita, you dirty bastards.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah. Graham cracker.
Yeah, so I think Graham's Gray is right. It's a kind of a wheat cracker, I think. Yeah, but I just can't imagine the flavour. Have you had these before, Efren?
I've had graham crackers, but not Teddy Graham. Graham crackers, if I remember correctly, it's been a long time. They're square crackers, and they're like, a little bit brownish. They're really good, but I just don't eat them anymore.
I'd rather a Tuck or a Ritz, Peter.
Yeah, I would rather a Cornish wafer. Just saying. Just saying. Nice kind of puffy kind of... I mean puffy as in the texture of it. It's aerated and it crumbles.
As opposed to what?
It crumbles in your mouth. But yeah, I'm not a fan of these. So yeah, graham crackers, Teddy crackers came out that year. Anyway, chaps, that's the stuff we had for you tonight. I did want to just jump to the community. We these comments tonight. They were like Ritz crackers for cheese, I think. Oh, I like Ritz. I like a Ritz.
I do like
cracker.
Ritz. Yeah.
Yeah. Never had a Graham. He wasn't one of the 5. I'm sure Graham was the guy down the street our parents told us not to talk to. Yeah. No Royal Rumble talk. Why would we want to talk about Royal Rumble, Phil? What did something happen in '88 about Royal Rumble? We don't have a sports segment on this, mate.
And we're not gonna.
And we're not gonna. Yeah, we're not gonna. So, community. I asked the guys at Instagram what happened in '88 that was the best thing that you think, and we've covered a lot of this. So we've got Die Hard. People mentioned Batman: The Killing Joke. Only response, absolutely. Short Circuit 2. Love a bit of Short Circuit. You guys?
Scooby Doo
Short
in the
Circuit?
Ghoul School. Love that.
Never heard of it.
It's so good. We'll stick it on the one
No,
scare.
no, Red Dwarf, Garfield. Loved a bit of Garfield. Reb C. Funhouse. Loved Funhouse. Do you guys remember Efren? You won't know Funhouse?
No.
Pat Sharp, was it, who did that, I think? Wayne saying it's the year he started collecting comic books.
Nice.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit. All user names are taken. Me, thank you very much. The greatest Aussie soap opera, Home and Away. Whack off, you flaming mongrel. I loved Home and Away. Absolutely loved.
Home and Away.
With you, Henry. I loved Home and Away. Alf. Oh, yeah. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Now, is that the one with Ace Ventura in it? Is that Killer Clowns?
With
No, I'm thinking
Jim
Earth
Carrey.
Girls Are Easy. Yeah, Earth Girls Are Easy.
No. Killer Clowns. I've never seen Killer Clowns. I've been meaning to.
I'm not sure I've seen Killer Clowns.
Yeah.
Akira, Maniac Cop, Coming to America. I loved Coming to America.
Oh, wow.
Bloodsport. My
Neighbor Totoro?
Don't think I've seen that.
The Ghibli, Studio Ghibli movie.
My daughter loves Ghibli movies.
Ghiblis great. Yeah,
she
you ever watch
loves
any of them, Peter? No.
I don't think so. No, don't
Just
ring a
watch some of
bell.
them. Spirited Away is probably the best one, I think.
Oh, I have seen the
House-
trailer for that.
Yeah, House Moving Castle is very good as well.
Akira, Die Hard, Coming to America, Batman, Killing Joke, Amazing Spider-Man 300. Yep, some great picks there, ladies and gents. Great picks. Right, just before I'll come to you first, James, in a second, just about what's happening over on One Good Scare. But just seeing what we've got in the chats. Beefy boys are so hard to get. We're still talking burgers, James, or is this something you get up to down your neck of the woods? I'm not sure. James is into beefy boys, fair enough. Pat Sharp and the twins. Yeah. Funhouse was a great series. Prisoner Cell Block H. Was it, remind us, Graham, was it B, the kind of the main woman who looked like she'd been hit with a shovel? But yeah, Cell Block H was a great one. Great series. Killer Clowns is one of the definitive B movies. We'll have to watch that one, James. It's not a one I haven't seen. Not one I've seen. Slow down. We haven't covered Paul Raymond, adult magazine classic Men's World debuted in '88. Okay. That's the one. That's the one we'll have to check out. James. What's happening over in One Good Scare?
Well, we are live on Friday with the live show to talk about all the latest horror news. And if you go over to the channel right, hang on, let me click this button. Now, our episode of I'll Be Right Back on Leprechaun 2 is there. So no excuses, guys. No excuses.
Don't bother. Dog shit.
Once this is over, you can hop over there and watch me and Peter argue for 15 minutes straight, quite heatedly about a movie. So that was a fun one. I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed editing it.
Is this on One Good Scare or Peter's?
Well, on One Good Scare. Yeah.
Okay.
It's fresh right now.
Yeah. Ephraim, what's happening over on your channel?
Hopefully this Sunday I'm gonna do another up on comics with my cousin. We're gonna try to do it on the Sundays on a regular basis. So maybe about 1 or 2 o'clock my time here. If not, I might ask Peter to do it with me. He says no. In about 2 weeks, I'm gonna be going to WonderCon. That's in Anaheim. It's like the sister con of San Diego Comic-Con. I'll be there Saturday, so I'm probably going to go live for a couple minutes, just showing you up and down the convention center. And besides that, I want to do another, when we ask each other 3 questions, we'll talk about it after we're done here. I always like doing those.
Any good guests at WonderCon, Ephraim?
I know Todd McFarlane is going to be there. Jim Lee's going to be there.
Oh, wow.
But you have to, it's a raffle to get their signature, which I don't do because CGC won't authenticate it because they're not there for that. When it comes to conventions, it's just a signature and that's it. I mean, you can get authenticated afterwards to CGC wanted to, but they don't have a CGC representative there. Then all kinds of artists are going to be there.
Excellent.
Yeah,
I look forward to seeing some videos from that.
I'm only going one day, Saturday.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing some of the
I'll try to go live the third time about maybe 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Go live, just showing you up and down the convention center.
Good stuff. Over on my channel, we've got Pop Culture Playback, where we were talking about Batman Beyond. Myself and James reviewed Daredevil, the Ben Affleck film. It's fair to say one of us liked it, one of us didn't.
I loved it.
Yeah. So that's an interesting one. Yeah. I put a video out this weekend about Masters of the Universe and some of the news we've got there. That's really interesting, just purely for the absolute nut jobs that have attacked the comments. It's all woke. It's a load of shit. Oh my God, you might as well make it She-Man. That kind of stuff. So it's interesting.
Right.
It's interesting the people that come out.
So the Masters Universe got a bit of toxicity going on right now.
Just a touch. People are still smarting over the Kevin Smith stuff, which I enjoyed. But there we go. But I had some classic comments about, Man at Arms is the wrong colour and things like that. So yeah, nice. Coming out tomorrow, I believe, is my honest review of season 1 to 4 of Superman and Lois. A series that I absolutely think is just phenomenal. Put a bit of time and effort into the script for that one, so I would appreciate you watching it. Members have already seen that, and I've had some nice feedback, so thank you for that. But please do give that one a watch, because it's a one that I put my heart into a little bit, because it's a series I absolutely love. So please do check that one.
I'm going to check that out for sure. I love that series.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
Next week's Tuesday night live show is Comics and Toys. It's this month's mail with myself and hopefully Andy and Phil, if they're available, talking about what comics we've been reading and showing off some of our recent pickups. So that'll be next Tuesday. That's your whack. Just before we jump off, let's quickly see who else or what else we've got in the chat. James, Todd McFarlane's released an Instagram post about the guy making the Stan Lee documentary. Yeah, I saw that. So if you're not aware of this, this is a documentary that a guy's gone to Kickstarter for to try and get some funding to support the documentary. He's not really promoted it particularly well, and there's a lot of questions about...
I thought the documentary was made.
So it's all a bit nebulous. So people have said they've seen the documentary already. So I'm not going to get into it because I don't know the full story, but there's a bit of criticism about how he's presented it and things like that. Okay. But Todd McFarlane's come out and basically said this guy's decent. This guy's one of the good guys in the story. There's still the question as to why he's waited this long to release the information and things. So it's an interesting one. I was talking to Fuzzy about this earlier in the day. Part of us wants to watch it, but a big part of us doesn't want to watch it.
Yeah, I don't want to really, to be honest.
I felt the same way when I watched the Christopher Reeves documentary.
Yeah.
It just it made me sad.
You don't want to see horrible things that happen to somebody you admired or loved, you know. So like it's almost like watching your granddad getting fucking abused, you know. So like
absolutely. Sean, the last episode of Superman is phenomenal. It absolutely is. I cried from start to finish. I have to be honest. It's just a beautiful, beautiful story. Phil's game, good stuff. Phil, £500 so this is the Kickstarter campaign. £500 and the guy will take you on a tour where Stan was abused. Yeah, so in Kickstarter you pay a certain amount and there's different levels of kind of what you get from it. The levels on it are all a bit strange. You don't. I haven't looked at it, but Fuzzy was telling us you don't actually get a copy of the film at any point. You get invited to a screening of it and things like it just, I don't know. It feels a little bit weird. Anyway, chaps. 150 quid to watch it and you don't get a copy. Sounds a bit sus.
Yeah.
Anyway, gentlemen, as usual, that has been tremendous. Thank you very much. Ooh, big important thing before we go, first one in the chat, and we'll take the first one. What date are we looking at next time?
What I'm alive
someone
for.
in the chat.
Something
Someone in
more
the
recent.
chat.
Come on, go 2000s.
Go on. Someone give me a
2000s
date
era.
in the chat, and
on.
whatever the first one is, as long as it's not ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? 69,
2008. Yes.
Where's that? Nah, that's shocking.
Thank you, my darling. Thank you so much.
That's shocking. I'm not accepting that one. I'm not accepting that one.
Yes.
That's
In the nick of time.
2008 it is. We shall do 2008.
2008's a good one.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. This has been a pleasure as usual. I enjoy doing this show. It's always an interesting one. Thank you so much to everybody in the chat for all of your comments. I think one of the things me and the guys enjoy most, I think, from doing this particular show is all of the interaction we get.
Yep.
I hope we've responded to everybody's comments as best we can, but we really do appreciate you guys all pitching in and chatting with me. It's much appreciated. With that, we'll call it a night. So, thank you very much, everybody, and we'll catch you next time. Bye!
The curtains close. It's time to go. We really hope you enjoyed the show. Check out my channel for more geeky fun and hit like, subscribe before you run. All that remains is our thanks to you from TripleG and his YouTube crew. We really do hope you come on back, but for now, that's your whack. Yeah, that's your whack.